Hey everybody, we decided to do a live this afternoon. This is Bryce Jones. I'm Mark Weinberg, and we wanted to discuss snow shower chances.
Yeah.
Bryce, you and I were in our weather office yesterday, and we were kind of deciding when was the right time to do each video.
Yeah.
Rick DeLuca and I did a video last night discussing the cold, and we said, you know what, with some snow bursts
Yeah.
possible today, let's wait till today to do the snow showers. Bryce texted me a little bit earlier, said, hey, let's do a video when you get to work.
Yeah.
And here we are. One thing I'll mention before we start the video, if you're joining us on Bryce Jones' Facebook page, mine on Mark Weinberg, or the WDRB News, please share the video. When you share the video, you let your friends, family know we're discussing snow showers. And I'm going to say, Bryce, maybe a couple people might be interested in that in this area.
I was just about to say, I think some folks up in southern Indiana here in about 15, 20 minutes are going to be like,
what's going on?
oh my gosh, what's happening? Yeah, it's the snow showers are starting to roll their way on in. So first of all, I want to point out temperatures across our area, because I mean, it's mid 40s this morning. It wasn't awful.
It wasn't, but you know, when you stepped out yesterday, Bryce, like late in the day, and then coming out this morning, and then now with that wind out there, it's like, oh, something's a little different.
Oh yeah, 100%. We're sitting at 42 down in Bardstown right now, and the reason why I picked Bardstown is because they're one of the further south cameras that we have in our area, and I also wanted to show you what Seymour is, which is the furthest north we have. And you notice the temperature difference there.
And the wind difference.
And the wind. The wind is going to be whipping around our area today, which we'll show you guys here in a second. But I mean, when you look at this, Mark, you can see obviously what's starting to happen.
And I think that's interesting because we talked about this yesterday. There's an idea, obviously, that instability generates thunderstorms. Fuel generates thunderstorms. Pretty simple concept. We talk about it all the time. Fuel in winter can generate what we call snow bursts. Now, it's not like this is a severe thunderstorm or anything like that. But what it can do is produce windy conditions, these quick, high-intensity bursts of snow that can reduce visibilities and even coat the ground. In fact, you were working one of these on Sunday. You texted me that morning that we had some snow bursts, and I was like, what did they look like? And you sent me a picture, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah. It came down quick. It came down out of up near Seymour and came rolling on down, and it just kept picking up steam. And I'm like, ooh! And then I was waiting to see some pictures, and folks started sending some pictures in, and I was like, oh, the road's covered already.
County video. I mean, it looked like 35-mile-an-hour winds with heavy snow falling and roads covered. And if you've lived here for a little bit, even the word roads covered, it doesn't matter if it's literally a fraction of an inch. It causes pure chaos.
Oh, 100%. And, you know, all it is a quick little coating. And, you know, a couple of those videos folks were telling me it went down here really fast.
Yes.
And then it was gone. It was gone like that. And
well, look at that cold. Chicago yesterday, we were kind of joking about the fact that, you know, Chicago's not that much colder than Louisville, blah, blah, blah. Where's the cold? And now it's 19, and it's living up to the Windy City name, as it's super windy in Chicago.
Absolutely. And even here, we're starting to see them pick up a little bit. And you can see this kind of purples and the reds really starting to bring their way on in as those wind gusts are really starting to get jacked up now. So 20 to 30-mile-an-hour wind gusts. The Seymour there, one a little bit further up off the ground, but it still goes to show these stronger wind gusts are rolling their way on in, and obviously the wind direction is the most important part here. This morning, like down in Lennon, Kentucky, you can kind of see down here a little bit of that southwesterly wind, but now that we're behind this front, it's starting to roll in the opposite direction, and obviously that's what's going to help drag in all this cold air.
When I was walking into work today, true story, I came in through the our back entrance into work today, and a wind gust hit me, and I had my coat, my work coat, the suit coat on a hanger, and it whipped it right off the hanger. So I came walking in all flustered to Bryce. I'm like, the wind just blew my coat off the hanger.
I heard you coming in. You're like, my coat.
It literally blew the coat off the hanger. Man. So it is windy out there. But, you know, here's the thing, Bryce. This cold surge, what's coming out of Chicago and moving our direction, is enough that it's going to generate some flurries or snow showers. And the weather pattern is now evolved. And this is a big difference. That high in the western part of the U.S. is the type of weather pattern that will draw cold air across the pole. Now, if you're thinking what's on the other side of the pole, well, that's Siberia. Now, you're probably thinking, well, isn't Siberia super cold? Since you ask, yes, it is. And Bryce has the graphic there, so you can see. I'm not going to even attempt to say any of those names because I will be completely and totally wrong.
Yeah.
But that place in Siberia with wind chills of -50, Bryce, what you're seeing is, look at the white, trace it across from Siberia, across the Arctic, and into Canada and Alaska. And you get the sense that as this sudden stratospheric warming event that you and I predicted about, what now, 8-9 days ago, is going to happen in the next day or so. It's pulling it right into the U.S. and then it's going to dump, or into the Canada. It's going to dump it right into the U.S.
Yeah, and that's the Arctic air that's coming in later this week. That's not even what's really helping. I mean, it's sort of helping, but that's not even the real stuff that's bringing in the snow showers. It's bringing the snow showers just that little front that moved its way on by.
And that's closing in on Seymour quickly. But that said, the intensity is coming down. And we've kind of seen this in the data. This really looks like one of those fine lines. But when you look at it from the Indy radar, it looks solid.
It does look solid, especially from Bloomington all the way over to about Sand Creek area, right around the Columbus area. So, I mean, if you time this out, kind of the trajectory this is going, Seymour, I mean, this is going to go right over you here probably within the next 15
minutes.
15
so
30
we'll have
minutes
the
or so.
camera, you'll be able to track this thing right through. Also, Bryce, I think that brings up a valid point here, is that if you're then trajectory this out, you really start to look at counties like Lawrence, Jackson, Jennings. We look at like Scott County, Clark County, Jennings County, Scott, if I mentioned that, towards Jefferson County, Indiana. And then on the Kentucky side, Oldham County, Trimble County, further northeast towards Carroll County. These counties would have the best chance. Louisville, I would say probably more flurries.
Yeah, I was going to say during the midday show, I kind of drew this little thing right here.
I
like this trajectory right here is kind of where most of these heavier snow bands are going. And it's not to say that Louisville can't get any of it, but as Mark just mentioned, that's where the snow almost squalls are trying to roll their way on through, where you can get those really heavy bursts. And with the wind, too, you're going to lower your visibility so quickly that it's going to be kind of hard to drive in. So
that is something to be aware of. If you're in Seymour, ETA is between 15 and 30 minutes. If you're in North Vernon, ETA is about, I'm going to say 18 to 22 minutes. Then coming towards like Madison, towards LaGrange, we're probably talking within the next couple of hours. What gets towards Louisville, I think that southwest Louisville probably sees less. Northeast side of Louisville, areas like Worthington, Prospect, then into Oldham County, Goshen. I think that you're probably going to see a little more in the southwest side of the county. But it's going to be fun to watch this when it gets into Seymour. And this is one of the things about our camera network. I love these. But it's real time. It's fun to watch it happening real time.
And the Seymour one's a little elevated, so every time something like this rolls through, it's like, it's hold on for dear life. But it'll give us a really good idea that that visibility issue, because that's kind of that main band there with that dark blue. It's trying to hold on. So the next question is, when's it going to be down toward Louisville? So most data has this, and again, the flurries are more toward west of 65. The actual snow showers that could reduce some visibility in there are east of 65. But most data has this rolling through Louisville between around 3 and 4. 3:30, 4 o'clock, right around there. So I don't really think this is going to affect the afternoon commute too much, unless, of course, you get off an hour early.
Or if you're going up 71, you know, and that's the thing.
That's
if you shoot 71 towards I-75 or Cincy, you're getting closer to where that upper level low is. You're getting closer where the intensity could be more, and it could cause some problems. Now, at the second half of the commute, you'd probably be worried about more like areas like Frankfurt. Lexington, we need to watch Lexington. Cincy, it's going to be past probably at 5, but there may be some left behind.
Yeah, I mean, if you're traveling along 64, like if you live in like Shelbyville, something like that, you're traveling in and out. I mean, you could live in Frankfurt and still watch us. Well, on stream you could watch us anywhere, but even on
cover the whole
exactly.
thing.
So I mean, between Frankfurt and Louisville, right there on 64, right around rush hour, you're going to have some decent bursts in there, and it's not anything that's going to cause huge issues. But when it comes down heavy enough, Mark, and you can allude to it, it doesn't really matter how warm the pavement is to an extent. Now, how long it lasts on the pavement afterward, it does. But
you've lived here again a long time as I have, and that is, it doesn't take much.
No, it doesn't take much.
I've learned in living here for a long time to be very cautious using the term, is it going to be bad? Or answering, is it going to be bad? Because here, I've seen a 1/4 of an inch of snow cause humongous problems in our area. I'm talking where there were cars sliding off the road everywhere. So it is one of those scenarios where I think it's just more intelligent to describe it as what's going to happen. An example, in this, the visibility can be reduced really quickly. You could be driving along and all of a sudden you have visibilities reduced under a 1/2 of a mile. That's a big deal to some people. Second, even if it's only a slight coating, in that time, if you're going 60 miles an hour and all of a sudden it just instantaneously coats the ground, yeah, that is a big
Gonna get a
deal
little
for
slippery.
you.
Yeah.
So we need to be careful of some slick spots, in particular, as Bryce noted, east and northeast of Louisville.
Yeah.
ETA, Louisville's going to be probably around 4 p.m. And you can see after that point, I mean, Bryce, the story obviously on advanced track starts to come the ouch factor.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, by tomorrow morning, we're going to be in the teens. Most of us will be,
And that's air
especially.
temperatures.
Yeah, and yeah, that's not even feels like. It feels like it's going to be a little colder than that because the wind's still whipping around a little bit in the morning. It'll lack off a little bit in the afternoon, and I think we'll actually get some sunshine tomorrow, Mark. But I mean, when you're in the upper 20s, how good does the sun feel at that point?
I think it feels great anytime. I'm one of those people that if you give me some sun, I'll take whatever else you throw at me, as long as I get some sun. But, you know, for the topic of the video was snow and snow showers. And again, we see another one of those systems coming through Thursday night, Bryce, and that is another opportunity. So to recap today, if anybody sees accumulation, we're talking minor. We're talking maybe a small coating. And that wouldn't last very long. That would then be preceded with wind, so that's going to blow around, but pavement temperature should mitigate. So under a quarter of an inch should probably be the highest for most. Maybe a half if you're very,
I was going to say
unlucky.
you could have maybe a streak here or there where you can get a little bit more, but I mean, this isn't a case where we're going to be like, go get the bread and milk, folks. You know,
that's going to happen either way. We both know that.
Everybody's flooding it.
But then we have more to talk about. So
Yeah.
this takes us through number one. I still have a few more minutes, so let's go into number two. Bryce, Thursday into Friday. You've got it there on advanced track, and we can see it.
Yeah, it's this next little clipper system that's trying to roll its way on by. Now, clipper system for a reason. These usually don't put down a ton of snow, and usually will put down more than what this is even going to put down. They just trying to throw this into our area Thursday night, but you see kind of depending on the model that you look at, some of it has a little further south than others. Some of it doesn't have much of anything. But on the flip side of that, new data is starting to show a little bit of a kind of resurgence there during the afternoon. But I also will point out that it's not a slam dunk because you're looking at a couple different models here. You're looking at a model for your temperature and you're looking at a model for the snowfall. Well, if it's 43 degrees, odds are you're not going to get snow rolling its way back up out of our south. So it's kind of like this second low that's wrapping around south of us and kind of going down and around us.
I'm looking at high res too, by the way, while you're showing. It does. Yeah, that's interesting.
I noticed
showing
that this
more
morning.
of a little wave.
Yeah, it's like it comes down out of the Dakotas and then goes down kind of the Mississippi and goes around us and up around through Mississippi, Alabama, Tennessee, and then up into the East Coast.
So this could favor the southern part of our area a little more on that one. Again, I'm looking at the data right now. This one I do think, and we've talked a little bit about this, Bryce, this one, I wouldn't say necessarily Thursday night, but I think Friday afternoon, Friday night does have that potential to maybe drop an inch in some areas. If you're to ask the best chance of getting some, you know, lower end or maybe borderline winter weather advisory for some locations in our area, I think you got to go to Friday night.
Yeah, and it's because you're closer to that low pressure. The low pressure is basically the hub of where all your moisture is, and well, you have to be close to the moisture in order to get snow falling. So depending on the track of this low, because this is fairly new in the data, so we're going to watch the trends over the next about 24 hours especially. If this thing budges north or south by 50 miles, you're talking about a completely different scenario in both ways. So the secondary run or the secondary kind of snow chance on Friday is what we're going to be watching for next. If you watched Jude this morning, he alluded to it, and I talked about it during the midday. So that's one. And then on Saturday, we could have a few little light snow shower
from the
flurries.
true Arctic surge, and that's I mean, you're just starting to get in repeatedly cold stuff. I think if we're to compare this to December, we still come back to the fact that December had snowpack. I think if you were to kind of look at the temperatures a mile above the ground, there really isn't a huge difference. It's just snowpack's everything here. I mean, snowpack can mean the difference between going below zero and having a high of 12 degrees. All things equal, snowpack can have that massive of an effect here.
Yeah, it brings in huge cold air, and that's kind of our next topic is the Arctic air that's going to roll on in. It doesn't really have anything to do with snowpack. This is just straight air coming off that sudden stratospheric warming event that we warned you about on, I think it was the 6th.
It was Monday, because I remember you and I came to work. We were looking at the medium range, and Bryce and I tend to, when all of us work together, I always thought it would be a fun video to do it where people could kind of see what we're talking about in the Weather Center. But we started to see some signals in some of the data, and we're like, why is that there?
The 5th was it,
Okay, so we're like, why is that there?
Yeah.
So, because if you can't explain why the data shows something, you can't make a forecast. You're a slave to the data. So we started to dig deeper into why that was showing the cold for the middle of this week, and we were able to trace it back to a sudden stratospheric warming event. And you and I both know this. These are, in winter, negative NAOs and sudden stratospheric warming events are almost lock for colder in our region.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we threw a dart. You put out a blog that day, actually, on the topic.
And that's kind of something we've been talking about for the last week and a half now, and here we go. By Sunday, so the stratospheric warming event is kind of starting late Thursday, which I'll show you here in a second. But heading into Sunday is when you're really going to notice some of these temperatures start to drop. We're in the teens waking up Sunday morning, and then Sunday afternoon we're in the 20s. But there's also another little low that's going to roll by way up near the Great Lakes. Yeah, and this low that's rolling up near the Great Lakes is the polar vortex, basically, is where this is bringing it in. So it's dragging the polar vortex all the way down near the Canadian-U.S. border.
From the North Pole.
Which, believe it or not, we are not that far from Canada here. We're really not. I mean, you can be in Canada in what?
Drive? I'm going to guess, well, let's see. I mean, I guess if you go maybe to northern, I'm trying to think of the way you'd have to get across.
Yeah.
I mean, it's within 10 hours.
Yeah, for sure. So the snow mainly stays to our north with this time on Monday, but this one on Monday is dragging in the real cold air. And yeah.
Oh, and by the way, is that showing up on the GFS too? This has been weird. The GFS was going like full force, push all the chips in. I'm going all in on this. And the Euro was kind of sitting back saying, maybe not as much. It does look like they're both now starting to slide all in.
Yeah, they're both kind of mitigated now a little bit to where I think I have a low on Tuesday morning at like 12.
I had 10
in Louisville. So, but I mean, who cares when you factor in the fact that it's windy still?
I know.
And you can see that that's going to start to bring in the wind chill values that are sub-zero in some areas. So, I mean, I don't think we're quite talking about extreme cold.
No, I think
warnings here,
extreme
but
cold warning would be 10 below, or the cold weather advisory, and then the extreme cold warning I think is 20 below, 20 and 25 below zero. Without a snowpack, I don't think we can do cold weather advisory. And generally, for what it's worth, if the kids don't go to school, cold weather advisory is normally where that happens. So we would look to see if we got one. I think right now, without a snowpack, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, and as Mark mentioned, and you can kind of see the numbers here a little better, the snowpack is going to be the reason how you get those temperatures that are way, 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 way down there. But on the flip side of that, we don't have it. So how cold can we actually get is going to be kind of the big question. So I think this is around where we're probably going to end up being. I think the data's kind of coming in to its own a little bit.
So here we go. This is the one that everybody wants to see. What's the data showing for snow?
Yeah, so
this is a great graphic. It's a great graphic, Bryce. And this, I think, the first time we've used it in a video.
Yeah, I don't know if a lot of folks have ever even seen this one.
So let's explain this one. I'm going to go through parts, you go through parts. So on the far left, you're going to see what says the word GFS.
Give you a little bit better of a look here.
We're going to start with the first is GEM. RPM, NAM, the NAM, the Euro, and the GFS. What is this showing on the left? That is showing computer models. And so you'll see when you go down to the black on the bottom, there is there a legend. So the legend on the left means those are different computer models. Now, Bryce, as you go along that legend, you see times. So that is different as you look at that. That is times, and I'll let you explain that. This is cumulative.
Yeah, so what he means by that is it's all adding up. So when you see that 0.6 of an inch on the GFS and the 0.5 inch on the Euro by the time we get to the beginning of next week, that's all added up day by day by day by day by day. It's not all falling at one time. So, I mean, when you're looking, and these are the same models that we look at, by the way, when you're looking at all these models and you put it in to where they all add up in a worst case scenario to just over a 0.5 inch of snow, you can tell that obviously this isn't a huge deal. The NAM is kind of the one that's out there a little bit at the most. And it's got an inch.
Interesting.
And I think it may be picking up on that.
That's the Friday night scenario.
On that Friday night scenario we just talked about.
But even if you do, you're still talking marginal. NAM's at 1, the Euro and the GFS are 0.5.
Yeah.
And we're talking about a 0.5 inch to an inch. But if you're kind of looking at that, where, when, you really look at the best chance of us catching minor accumulations being in that Friday night time frame.
Yeah.
And again, if there's impacts, that what's different, I think, about that versus what's going to occur in the next hour or two is that the pavement temperature is pretty warm after where we've been. After several days of cold now, once we get to Friday, that may have a better chance of sticking.
Exactly. And to Mark's point, what's moving through tonight, you see this, the time frame there, Thursday, it's tonight at 2 a.m. Not a lot of data has much, basically, of anything. So, so it's more impact-based this afternoon and this evening than it is actual totals climbing its way on up. A couple more graphics to show you. This is talking about our stratospheric warming event.
I love this graphic.
Yeah, these are temperatures that are about a mile above the ground, which can really dictate and tell us how warm it's going to be here at the surface. So what you'll notice is by the time we get to tomorrow night and or early Friday, these little pinks start to show up coming out of the Arctic Circle and coming out of Siberia. And you see Siberia
you see those streamlines. See it coming right from Siberia right into northern Canada, and then a straight dump southward.
Yep, and watch what happens heading into this weekend. Here it comes. It's pouring down into our area.
And this is what's interesting now when you look at this. Now you have the polar vortex really encompassed by very cold air all the way into the United States. This then is going to become something that's very, very important as we go towards next week, because it's going to put the Ohio Valley in a clash zone. Clash zones can produce all rain. There it is. There it is.
Baroclinic zone.
Yeah, so this can produce all rain. But
sure
it can also produce hits like what we saw in December. What we're going to be setting up with is quite a bit of cold air to the north, all along the Canadian border, and warmer to the south. And we're in the middle. So if a storm then can get in the right place at the right time, bring some cold down ahead of it, it'll snow. If it then pushes the warm too far northward ahead of it, it goes all rain. And then you can get combinations of something in the middle. But this does lead us from a weather pattern right now that has the Gulf closed to a weather pattern in the middle and later part of next week where the Gulf is open. And that's a big difference.
So it's all going to come down to whether we can get those temperatures down far enough, which I think the 8 to 14 day temperature outlook here looks really good, kind of showing kind of that little battle zone that we're going to be stuck in heading into the next couple of weeks.
So we'll see, some people ask me, they say, if you guys say you can only forecast the weather 7 days out, how were you and Bryce last Monday able to tell us we were going to go definitively colder than normal, have this way colder than normal in the weekend of this week? How are we able to say that 10 days in the future? We can tell you when there's large events that occur that there's something out there. What we can't tell you is the exact track of where the lows are going to go. And in the end of it, forecasting a colder than normal pattern is challenging. It's not impossible. Forecasting where a storm is going to go and if you're going to get snow and how much 8 to 10 days out is literally impossible. Now, that's not to say you don't see that online, because I know that
I was just
a lot
about
of
to say that.
these social meteorologists, we see them on YouTube, we see them on Facebook that are not meteorologists, throw that stuff out there. And look, it does get more action, it does get a lot of action in the share department, but that's not what we do. I mean, in the end, our goal is only to be right. If that's not the most sensational, then so be it. But we're going to try to get it right.
There was a run, a singular model run of the GFS yesterday. I don't know if you saw it.
I did not.
Oh man,
I'm starting to sweat.
It went crazy online with those kind of pages you're talking about. This one run, I'm not joking. And by the way, I'm going to preface before I even say this, it's not going to happen. It showed like 45 inches of snow.
And somebody posted this.
In like southern Indiana. And like
somebody posted this?
Yeah. It was all over. And I'm like,
the funny thing is the GFS is so bad.
It's bad.
We sometimes don't even look at it anymore.
Yeah.
And yet these guys post this stuff online with a strict goal. If I post something that's scary, it's going to get shares. How many people on my page? And it's trying to sell fear. I think it's disgusting, but it happens all the time. So, Bryce, it is 2:40. I'm going to have to actually get back and do a little forecasting in the studio. I know you're going to be moving into the Q&A portion of this. So, everybody, I'm going to head back into the studio. I will see you guys on WDRB at 4, and I'm going to hand this off and let Mr. Bryce Jones take us from here. Bryce, I'll see you in a little bit, my friend.
So, we're going to take some questions. So, if anybody's got any questions, obviously, we've still got Mark's page on here. And all of our other pages still on here as well. So if you are curious about anything snow-wise, maybe coming up the next couple of weeks, by all means, go ahead and drop a comment, and we'll go ahead and go through those. I'm going to pull up radar just to kind of give you another look at it now that this is actually starting to roll on in here, and maybe we'll hang out for a little bit. I'm here till 5 anyway. We'll hang out and see what this looks like once this gets to Seymour. So obviously this is kind of the main area right here. Pleasant Run, Owen, Pershing, Seymour, Geneva. That's kind of the main area. Now, with that being said, with the track that this is taking, these little snow showers near Bedford and Mitchell, those can make its way toward Louisville. But you see there's a big difference between what's to the near Bedford and what's over north of Seymour. That's going to be the biggest difference heading into our area, in my opinion, coming up here over the next couple of hours or so, because this will probably roll through the Ohio River between around 3 and 4 o'clock, maybe closer to 4. All right, let's take some questions. Let's see. How does Elizabeth Ralston on Facebook, how does Saturday night and Sunday look for Clarksville, Indiana? So Saturday night, other than a few light snow showers going around, shouldn't be that big of a deal. Sunday is going to be cold. This weekend's going to be cold, guys. Now, I'm not talking like, oh, this is the end of times. Oh, it's awful. No, but I am talking like highs in the 20s, wind chill values in the teens type of cold. I'm not going to come up here and overdo it, but it will be much colder than normal for sure, and what we've been dealing with. Let's see, how much snow do you see us getting? So good question, Crystal. I'll actually pull this graphic back up again. In any instance here, and we'll keep an eye on that Friday one that I mentioned, by the way. Again, if you're just joining, these are a bunch of different weather models, and they're tracking out day by day and adding it all on top of each other, how much snow we can get over the next few days. So you see, at worst case, these two models right here next to my thumb, the GFS and the Euro, which are kind of the namesake long-term models, they're showing like a ½ inch over multiple days, not all at once. So I don't really think it's that big of a deal. The NAM's a little bit more aggressive there at 1 inch, mainly with that system that rolls through on Friday and Friday night. But I still don't think that this is one of those scenarios where, you know, you're going to be snowed in or we're going to have delays or anything like that. I don't really think that's going to be too much of a problem here. All right, let's see. Let's see. Spring, hurry up. I feel that, Pam. I feel that. Let's see. Seymour camera. Yeah, we can pull up the Seymour camera for sure. So we'll go ahead and pull it up. Can you see it on there? Oh, yeah, you can. Hold on. Yeah. Look at that. Right up in the, I guess that would be the top left of your screen there. You can see the snow streaks really starting to come on down. It's funny. Someone told me to pull up the Seymour camera. Mark came in. He was like, all right, you can see it. But yeah, you could see, I can't really point to it from where I am, but the camera's shaking. You see the snow streaks coming down there in Seymour. So Seymour, get ready. We're going to have a nice little snow globe action maybe here within the next about 15 to 20 minutes or so. All right, recent questions. Let's see here. No big snow. So Denise Montgomery on Facebook says no big snows then. In my opinion, I would say no. Now, I don't know what you consider a big snow, but it doesn't have to be a big snow to be an impactful snow. You know what I mean? So, I mean, a quick little 1/4 inch on the ground can make roads slick. And obviously, people can't drive around here when it's sunny and 75, right? So, it can definitely still have impacts, but in terms of a big snow, I would say no. In my opinion, a big snow is over about 4 inches or so. I don't think that's going to happen this time around. So multiple snow chances coming up this week, but none of them are like huge. You know what I mean? Madison Hawk, any snow in Shelby or Spencer? So I'll take a look at radar real quick and pull this back up again for you guys. So the view that's coming out there, Seymour, is this. So this is what it looks like on radar as it's rolling its way on in. Is this a little snowband right here? So it's kind of surrounding Seymour now. Now, the general path that this is going to take, and I'll put a loop here for the last 45 minutes. You can see the direction this is going, right? This is going southeast. So really and I forget what locations you just asked. Let's see if I can get back to you real quick. There we go. Shelby or Spencer County. So I would say yes. So this is kind of heading in that general direction. But even more so east of that. So I'll draw this on here one more time for you guys, kind of give you a little bit of a better look, in my opinion, on who's going to be able to get the best chance for some quick snow bursts in there. And I'm just going to follow the general track that this is taking. Take a quick look at it. I'm thinking kind of this track right in here. These areas right in here, in my opinion, are going to have the best chance to get some of these snow bursts that are going to roll on in. Now, anything out of that, you can still get some snow showers, but that's where the heaviest stuff is rolling its way on in. Again, it's surrounding Seymour right now. We'll take another look there. It won't be very long. It'll start and be rolling its way on through. All right, a couple more. Let's see. How will roads be in the Palmyra, Indiana area? So any area that gets these little snow bursts, they can put a quick coating down, which can put in some slick spots. But here's the thing. We were just in the mid 40s in Seymour, or even in Palmyra. We were in the 40s, 2 hours ago? So the temperatures are crashing fast, but we've been warm, quote unquote warm. I mean, we were almost at 60 yesterday. So that is going to keep a lot of the pavement warm and preventing from any major issues from happening. Check out the camera, by the way. Shaking all over the place there in Seymour. Let's see if we can get a recent wind gust out of that. 32 mile an hour out of the north now. So we're at 36 there in Seymour. Here's the good thing, though, and here comes some snow that's fallen. Whenever you get these snow showers that come down really heavy, it doesn't matter if you're at freezing or if you're 2 to 3 degrees above, because when you get that much intensity, it's called evaporative cooling, where you're taking a lot of the cold air aloft where that snowflake is developing, and you're rushing it down to the ground really fast, which can rapidly cool the ground. Keep an eye on this camera. It's about to start showboating here in a minute. Let's see. Fall all year round would be amazing. I feel that, Travis. I feel that. Thank you, Michael. I appreciate that. Radcliffe, you're going to be a little bit more hard-pressed to get these snow showers in your area. I'm not going to say you're not going to get any. Check out this camera, by the way. It's holding on for dear life. We may be able to see this thing fly off, Melody, but I don't think we're talking about big-time snow bursts in Radcliffe, I would say. I'd say east of 65 has the best chance for that. Natalie Young, Louisville, what time? Louisville could get some snow showers out of this. I don't think it's going to look as hectic as what this is about to look like here in the next 5 minutes. But I'd say between around 3 and 4, you could get some snow flurries, maybe a couple snow showers flying around, but not a huge deal. Let's see. A couple new ones here. And just answered the snow for Louisville. We have 30 mile an hour winds right now in North Vernon. David, thank you for that report there. Hey, your guys' reports are huge to us, so we really do appreciate that. New Albany, you're kind of in the same boat there, where it's not going to come down as heavy as what's about to fall right here in Seymour. Look out on the horizon now. You can't even barely see what we just saw 5 minutes ago, with that snow starting to really come down now with these snowbursts. So this is that lower visibility I was talking about earlier. New Albany, you can get some snow showers at us, but I think just a little bit further east is going to be where most of this is heading. And I'll pull up radar here again in just a minute. Margaret out of Portland. How much longer until we see warmer weather? It's going to take a little bit. This pattern's hanging on for a little bit. And back to our point where I was talking about the 8 to 14 day outlook, where we're kind of in the battle zone, where we could swing either way. So I would say maybe around 2 weeks from now, we could start to get a little bit warmer than normal, but I'm not going to full push into that, because we're kind of in this weird battle zone where the cold air and the warm air are going to be fighting for who's going to win over right over our area. Check out this camera. Check that thing out. Woo! You can see all of our cameras on our website at any time, by the way. This is a good one. So, Lila, I can't say, I'm sorry if I'm saying your name wrong. My daughter's name is Lila, though, if that's your name. Great job, Bryce. Sorry I argued with you about heat lightning a few years ago. You were right. My apologies. That's great. I don't even remember that. But yeah, heat lightning is not real. Will Bardstown, Kentucky see the snow? Becky Smith says. So, if you do, I don't think it's much more than flurries. Maybe a snow shower, but not quite to this level. Wayne Crawford, my wife and I just had our baby. What is tomorrow or Friday looking like? We'll be heading home. First of all, Wayne, congratulations. Second of all, I don't know where you are. I'm assuming you're in Louisville. Tomorrow, you'll be fine. It'll be cold. Wrap that baby up, man. I know you can't really put a coat on him in the car seat, but get that car preheated, leaving the hospital. Congratulations to you guys. Let's see. Entered the Bardstown. Madison, Indiana. So Madison, you're one of those spots where I do think that you could get some of this. So what's following now? I'm going to flip us back really quick over to radar, and we can take a quick look here. You guys can see what I'm talking about. So here's what is moving through Seymour. That camera that you've been looking at for the last few minutes, that's this right here. And the general track that this is taking, I'll draw the arrow here for you, is going this way. So the person who just asked about Madison, I would say yes, you could definitely get a couple snowbirds in the next about half hour to an hour or so, as this continues to push its way on through. How's E-Town looking for snow and or ice? So ice is not in the equation this time around. Hallelujah, praise Jesus, right? But E-Town, other than a few snow showers, I don't think we're talking about big-time snow bursts there. By the time it gets down there, it should be pretty far to our east. In my opinion, east of 65, north of 64 is going to have the best chance of seeing some of these very minor accumulations, like what's coming down right now in Seymour. Even though you can't really see more. All right. Let's see. Radcliffe, again, I don't think we're talking about much. Hart County. Hart County is interesting, Mary. So Hart County, I really wouldn't worry too much about this afternoon, this evening. I would keep an eye on Friday evening down in Hart County for some of our southern communities. There's a low that's going to, so like if this mic right here is Louisville, there's a low that's coming down out of the Dakotas and it's kind of going down and around us like that. Depending on how close that low gets, I think we should keep an eye for our southern counties on Friday. We'll go till about 3 o'clock and then we'll hop off the stream. How about this look there? There's your snow globe action. It's almost like I have a degree in this stuff, right? That's a pretty look, though. It's a pretty look. Brooks, Kentucky. So, Rhonda, Hinkle, Bullitt County, and Brooks. You're kind of in the same scenario here. We could get a few snow showers, but I don't think we're talking about big bursts this evening. What's the weekend in Louisville looking like, Heather Cole? So, weekend looks cold. Could have a few snow showers on Saturday. Doesn't look like that big of a deal. But it's cold. It's breezy. It's going to feel colder than it actually is. So, not great for outdoor stuff this weekend, unfortunately. Which, trust me, I feel for you, all right? I got a 1.5-year-old at home. Anytime I can get outside with her, I'm taking her out. Cody's reporting some grapple right now in Seymour. Okay. More like see less. Peter Schwab on YouTube, everybody. Let's see. Let it snow. Let it snow. Keep the comments coming. Keep the comments coming. We did the Radcliffe one. Thank you for the updates. Thank you, Sylvia. Hi, Cheryl Jackson and Seymour. What's it look like outside your door, your work right now, huh? Does it look like that? Put a quick little burst down. Now, the good thing is I don't see any of that snow covering the road from what I can tell. And we'll take maybe a little bit of a better look at it here. I don't really see anything covering the road, so that's good. I don't think it quite has that much intensity with it. Maybe in between some lanes there. In Seymour, you may be able to get a little bit. So this is going to be more a visibility issue, in my opinion, especially as you get toward like 64 from like Simpsonville through Shelbyville through Frankfort around 5 o'clock. You may be running into that. Linda said, I thought I was seeing things until I found your live. Well, I appreciate that. Starting to snow a little bit in Portland now. Thank you, Margaret, for that. I'm going to pull up the radar here in just a minute. But what about PRP? Jennifer Martin says, shout out PRP. PRP will probably not look like this. So you're talking about maybe some snowflakes, flurries, maybe a couple snow showers right around 3 to 5 o'clock. So it's about 3 o'clock now. So here in about the next hour to hour and a half or so, I'd say. Let me get off the camera, pull up radar one more time. All right, so obviously you can tell where the bulk of this stuff is falling right now, right? It's right on the heart of Seymour, Sealess, Brownstown, Driftwood, Grassy Fork, Caruthersville, you're up next. Deputy, Leavitt, DuPont, Smyrna, Republican, Scottsburg. All this is heading down toward your area. Now, outside of Seymour, I know a lot of folks are watching from Louisville. want to talk about a couple of these little snow showers right over here. So these little snow showers right here, these could clip the metro. Now, this isn't going to put down what's putting down in Seymour, but the way that these are moving, this could still clip parts of Louisville. Let's take a look at what kind of path this has taken in the last half hour. Yeah, so that's what I thought. So it's moving right over Livonia. The way that this is taking it, this is probably going to move it into parts of Nulu, Prospect, Anchorage, Pee Wee Valley, Crestwood area. Looks like that's going to move it there. So some of those bursts can get their way on over there. And they're getting closer now, but we're starting to get some of that. But you can see there's more where this came. Some of the stuff behind it up near Bedford and Mitchell, that's starting to roll its way on down. So Louisville could still get some snowflakes out of this, but I don't quite think they're going to look like this, like what Seymour's looking at right now. Few more questions here. Started a new loose. So, all right. So even though it's not pointing on radar, I'm getting multiple people telling me that there is some snowflakes flying around the metro right now. So those are probably nothing more than some flurries. Yeah, Derek Ernst, thank you. Very light. So some snowflakes flying around the metro right now. It could pick up a little bit as we get closer to around 3:30, 4 o'clock. But I don't think we're talking about major issues. You're just gonna have to watch out for some reduced visibility, mainly east of 65. Real quick, shameless plug. If you're not watching on my page and you don't follow me, meteorologist Bryce Jones with a Y, Bryce on Facebook. Follow my page. You'll get updates anytime I go on here if I'm by myself, which happens sometimes on the weekend, especially once we get toward the spring, get into severe season. Windy conditions. Yeah, the wind is definitely picking up. Snowing in Pekin, Alexandria Hunfield, excuse me, on Facebook. And yeah, that was kind of that area near Bourne we were just looking at too. So look at that. Snow globe action right now up in Seymour, Indiana. So Mandy, hail, and Seymour. So this is probably grapple is what you're probably seeing, not hail. But I had somebody else report that same thing to me, was that grapple looking kind of snowflakes that were falling on down because all that super cold air aloft is getting pushed down really fast in Seymour. So remember about 10 minutes ago, I said it's 36 in Seymour and it's starting to snow. But when you get these heavy snow bursts, you can take the cold air aloft and it rushes down to the surface really fast. Folks, there is science right in front of your eyes for you. It is 31 now. They've dropped 5 degrees in the last 5 to 10 minutes simply because of that snow shower activity dropping down that cold air. How about that, huh? It's your lesson for the day. Thank you, Pam. I appreciate that very much. New Albany looking gloomy. Let's take a look at a couple other locations, shall we? So here's Louisville right now. Obviously, there's no big snow showers. There's still some flurries flying around. E-Town is too far south. I mean, they're still sitting at 40. Bardstown, you're still sitting at 41. So you're talking about a difference between 41 and 31, and that's what it can do. Right there. All right, easy, Jeff. People do care about the snow, okay? But they do care about them Hoosiers too, baby. How about that, man? Monday. It's going to be a good game. It's going to be a good game. You know, I say that. I've also said that the last 2 games. I thought the Oregon game was going to be a little closer than it was. They just blew them out. Temperature definitely dropping in PRP, and the wind is picking up. So let's flip back to temps real quick. Got a lot of people mentioning that. Remember when you joined Louisville was sitting at about 42. We've already dropped a couple degrees. We're in the 30s now in Corden. We're in the 30s now in Sellersburg. Look at the cold air. Ding, 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 ding. Here it comes. It's dropping pretty quick. And then when you factor in the wind gusts there, those are at their peak now. Look at Seymour. And again, that's about 100 feet off the ground or so. But still, wind gusts over 30 miles an hour rolling through our area right now. So if you are heading out, you got to be outside, even to walk into your car the next 2 hours. You're going to be feeling it. The sun creeping through in Greensville, Indiana. Streets at 10 a.m., Brenda, will be just fine. Streets tomorrow morning should be fine. But we are crashing pretty quick. So that's something important. All right. So thank you guys for joining the stream. Again, hit share. Get this video out to as many people as you can. I know a lot of people are probably looking up in Seymour right now, and they're like, what is going on? These little snowbursts are on their way on in. So, yeah, so Louisville, get ready for some flurries, some snow showers between about the next hour. Within the next hour, we should start to see that rolling its way on by. More so and heavier, kind of east of 65 there. Worst case scenario, I think a little dusting would kind of be the main potential there. Other than that, I don't think we're really talking about anything major around our area, but I do think we need to watch out for some impacts coming up. So, again, you can follow me on Facebook, Meteorologist Bryce Jones. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram, Meteorologist Bryce Jones WX. You can find me on there as well. So, again, thank you guys.